Today we're going to be taking a look at the Optronics Trailer Clearance or Side Marker light with the Reflex Reflector. This is a 3 LED light with a red lens and a black base. The part number is MCL32RBB. Now there are many reasons that people change out their lights or need a new light, whether you've got an old one, the lens is broken on it, maybe they've kind of modified it. These quick connects aren't usually the best at making a good connection, so that's a good reason to switch them out. Maybe you've got a burnt out bulb, or you just want to upgrade to the nicer, brighter look that we tend to get out of the LED lights. As you can see, this is going to be a 3 LED light. It gives us a lot of brightness. That's something I really like about the LEDs. They tend to be a brighter, clearer light than what you get with incandescents. LEDs also tend to last a lot longer than what you get with the filaments and the incandescent bulbs. And they also use a lot less power. So the same number of LED lights on a trailer will draw less power through your vehicle system than incandescents. Something else you'll find unique about this light versus others is that it does have the black base. So either you want it to stand out on a white trailer like this, or you want something that's going to match your trailer a little bit better. It's a good option to have. Now overall, the light measures 4 inches from here to here. It's going to be about 2 inches from the top down to the bottom, and it's going to come out from the surface of the trailer about 1 inch. We also have a reflector built into the lens of the light, so not only does it comply with, of course, being a side marker or a running light, but it's also going to work out with the DOT as far as the reflector goes. The black base is an ABS plastic, so it's going to be nice and durable. And if you ever happen to bump the lens or get a crack in it, it is replaceable. So you can leave your base in place as long as the lights still work, of course, and just replace that lens. You can see our screws that mount the light to the trailer. We've got one here, one here. These are going to be on a 3-inch center. That's going to be very common for most of your side marker lights of this size. So whether you've got a busted lens like what we have, maybe the light's burned out, or you just want to upgrade to LEDs, you can see this is going to be a really good solution. It's more rectangular than the traditional oval style, so I think it'll give you a nice look. And to get that installed, you will need to remove your old light. Now these have 8-point screws in them, so a Torx bit really doesn't work well in here. What we found is if you don't have the 8-point or the double square bit, you can use a single square bit. You see that'll help us get those right out of there. You're likely to have a wire attached there, of course, so I want to trim that and get this one out of the way. As you can see with our wire, we don't have a whole lot of slack here. When you do light replacements, you're going to run into that quite often, so we need to get this extended. We're going to use a heat shrink butt connector, part number DW05744, and we're also going to use a short length of wire here. 16 gauge will be what typical trailer wiring is going to be. You can get that on our website as part number 16-1-1. Now, depending on your application, you may have to open your hole up a little bit there. You see ours had a pretty narrow hole, so we're going to kind of expand that so we can get our butt connector to slide through. All right, so then we'll just strip the end of that back. Gonna get our connector slid on there. And get it crimped down. Pull on it, make sure you got a good connection there. Then we can add our little extension wire. Not gonna need a long piece here. It's not going that far, and generally you're not gonna need that much wire to make repairs down the road if you have any kind of issues. Then we're gonna use a heat source to shrink that down. When it gets all the way shrank down, it almost looks like the wire magnifies. You see a little clear gel come out of the end there. We'll just push that on in. That'll give us plenty of slack to work with. Now I want to strip back the end of this wire. To that, we'll add another one of our butt connectors. You can use regular butt connectors if you want, but I think the heat shrink is going to give you superior corrosion resistance. You won't have to worry about moisture and stuff getting in. Now, if you're working with a single wire system like what we have, your white wire you're going to ground out to the body of the trailer. We'll show you how to do that in a minute. And the black wire you want to hook up to your power lead. If you're running a 2-wire system, if you have 2 wires that come out, well, you just hook one up to the power and one up to the ground. Start by getting our power wire attached here. Trim a little bit of that back. And we're going to use one of the same butt connectors we use to extend our wire. Just place that on, make sure we crimp it down really well. Then we'll attach it to our wire there after we strip it back. Now to make our ground to our trailer, we're going to add a small ring terminal onto our white wire. This has been designed for use with 18 gauge wire. And you see we're just going to place that right over the hole. As we bring our mounting screw through, that'll ground it through the trailer. Now we'll use a heat source to get our butt connector shrank down. So we're just going to use heat, kind of gently heat it, it'll turn clear and start to shrink. When it gets shrank down all the way, it'll look like it magnifies. And then when it's all the way at the end, you'll see a little clear gel come out there. Once we've got that shrank, we'll just tuck our wire on in there. If we ever have to make any changes, if we ever have any issues, we'll have plenty of wire to work with. Now for our ring terminal, we're going to place that just like that. Tuck our wire in there behind. We're going to use the original screw that we had on there to start with and place that on. And we'll bring that in the hole. Now there is a top side to this light, so be sure you get it in the right spot. This little hoop here should be facing upwards. It also says top printed in the top edge. It's just hard to see. All right, nice and secure. And we can put the lens over the light. It says Optronics here, so if you want to have that facing up, it'll go on either way though. There we are. We can test it out. And that's going to complete our look at the Optronics Trailer Clearance and Side Marker Light with 3 LEDs. Part number MCL32RBB.